everybody, and welcome back to Art a la Carte. I want to say a big thanks to Smart Art Box for sponsoring today's video and for sending me another fun art subscription box with all sorts of goodies inside to test out. For those of you who don't know, Smart Art Box is a monthly subscription art experience box. They choose a different theme each month and then send you all the tools that you need to complete a project or several projects, plus a really handy dandy little guide that walks you through step by step in creating the project. If you'd like more information, go ahead and check out their website. I'll leave a link in the description box below. But now let's jump in and see what things they sent. So first thing in the box are the Marabou acrylic mousses. I've never used acrylic mousse before, so I'm kind of excited to try it out. And they came in the colors of Lilac Caribbean and Rose Pink. The next item are the Royal Langnickel synthetic sponge packs. It's always good to have a craft sponge in your art collection. These are great for working with tile, pottery, ceramics, acrylics, oils, watercolor, fabric paints. There's so much that you can do with them. Next, we have a new little tool. This is called a Princeton Art contour thing. But you use it to kind of smear things around. Think of it like spackling. So use it with clay, plaster, all those kind of things. We're going to be using it today. Probably the biggest thing in the whole box today is the Acrylic Matte Pub Discovery Kit, which I have never used before. So these are refillable plastic tubes with a fine nozzle for writing or fine line application. It comes with the colors of red, yellow, blue, white, black. But once you use them up, you can fill them up with more paint, which I love the idea that these are refillable. The next little beauty that I pulled out is this Marabou Stencil. I've used a few stencils in the past, so I'm excited to try this one out. It's very pretty, nice hearts and flower kind of pattern. And of course, they gave us something to work on, not just one thing, but two things. So these are canvas panels. There's a 5x7 and an 8x10. Every artist needs a little treat. They included a yummy candy plus their monthly sticker. Because this is a mixed media project, they even give you tips inside the brochure on how to use your packaging material to create extra texture. So let us begin following the instructions with step number 1, apply 2 lines of color. I have to tell you, this stuff is like working with real whipped cream. It's fluffy, it's got an interesting texture. It doesn't goo down like most acrylic paints do. Step number 2, using one of those little sponges, you're going to mush those lines up and create your textures, which is, I have to say, a very interesting thing to do because it's not like acrylic paint. As you can see, it kind of sticks together. It's fluffy. Really, it's like a mousse. And so it took me a little bit of time to get things kind of spaced apart and blended together. At first, did not like this too much because of the texturing was not going the way I wanted it. But the more I used it, the more I began to like this product. And now I'm like, what other colors do they come in? Because I might have to buy some. Now you don't want to mush it down so much that you lose your texture. So once you have it the way you like it, let it dry. I was impatient, so I sped up my drying process by using a blow dryer. I set it on a low heat and ate my candy whilst I let it dry. Once it's dry, we're ready to move on to step number 3, which is to add the stencil and some paint and again, mush it around. I've used stencils before, but not with textured things, and this proved to be a little bit tricky. Maybe I wasn't supposed to have as much texture as I did at this first step part, and that could have caused the problem. But I don't think my first stenciling worked well. It just kept sticking to everything, so I really had to hold the stencil down. I think the more I practice with it, the better it will look, but you know, you kind of see it. Didn't really work great. So I passed that step and moved on to the next step. Step number 4, which is to use your paint and the little contoury thing and begin to add more textury things. Now I tried 2 different techniques. I tried applying the paint directly to the canvas and scraping it through, which my first couple swatches, really liked them. And then, as I usually do, I overwork things and I lost that. So enjoy those really cool strikes because I just mess it up. The next technique that I tried is to take and apply the paint right to the contouring tool and then scrubbing it on. Both worked. They both had things that I liked about it and things I didn't like about it. So I'm not going to say like this stuff doesn't work, because it does. This is a case of having to learn your products. I'm always saying when you learn art, you can't just expect to know it right away. You have to give yourself a chance to learn it. Cause and effect. If I do this with my product, what is it going to do? I think the more I work with this stuff, the better I'll get at it, the more I'll learn about the tricks and all this. So this was a really fun thing to kind of jump in and make myself try something new. Anyway, once you're done with this step, again, you want to let it dry fully before you move on to the next step, which is step number 4. No, we already had a step number 4. Step number 5, which is to sketch a design onto your canvas. Now, because I had pastel colors and primary colors, I was trying to think of something that would work design-wise with both of those. So I decided to go with kind of a sweets theme and went with a cupcake and a little piece of candy. Again, I've never used these pin tubes before, and that is step number 6, to apply those. So I was excited to try them out. There's no way you're going to get a really super fine detail line with this, but I loved using these. I've never made I don't think I've made a video on it, but I have done cookie decorating where you ice the cookies with all these fun designs, and I felt this was so similar to doing that. I really enjoy decorating cookies, so this was super fun for me. Layering up the different colors and the textures, the different kinds of textures, because this is going to be really smooth and shiny, and then the texture behind is really bumpy and matte. It looked really, really pretty. I also liked that the paint inside did not flood and spill everywhere. It held its shape fairly well, but also melded together. It was a fun thing. After you're done, you need to let it dry completely so you don't smudge or smear. So I just let it dry overnight, and in the morning came back to it, and voila! Oh, I love it. Now the paint, the tube paint dried a little bit more matte than I thought, but of course you could put in glossy paint into these tubes if you wanted to have a glossy paint in there. I think it turned out really fun. I really enjoyed this, how it turned out. The mousse really dried nice and firm. It kept its texture, but you're not going to move and budge that. At first I thought it might dry a little chalky and be able to chip off, but no, it is nice and solid. So again, a big thanks to Smart Art Box introducing me to yet another art supply. Love that. If you're interested in checking out Smart Art Box for yourself, again, I will leave a link to their website in the description box below. Well, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me in this video. I really appreciate it. If you're brand new to my channel, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed this video, first give it a big thumbs up, and then check out one of these videos to continue your art adventure. God bless you guys, and we'll see you in another art video. Bye-bye!